Okay. Firstly, let me introduce myself. This is Somshekhar. I have 6+ years of experience, and I have more than 4 years of experience in Selenium with Java, and I have experience in mobile automation like APM, and experience in API automation by using REST Assured with Java. I have experience in manual testing as well. So this is all about myself, and thank you all for joining for Selenium classes. Heartily welcome. Let me share my screen. I hope my screen is visible, right? Can anyone confirm?
Yes, bro.
Yeah, yes,
Yes,
sir.
bro.
Yes. Visible.
Thank you for confirming. Okay. So let me explain about Selenium. So Selenium is automation tool. Okay. So this is the Selenium. We can use it for web automation to automate the web applications, I can say. And there are four components in Selenium. One is Selenium IDE and Selenium RC and WebDriver Grid. So nowadays, like most of the people are using Selenium WebDriver. So this is very famous in nowadays. And so this is all about the four components of Selenium. And let me go by one. So Selenium. Okay. Before I go for explanation about the components, so let me talk about Selenium founder. So the founder is like Jason Huggins. So he was the developer. He's the developed the Selenium WebDriver actually Selenium whole components. So when he is working in ThoughtWorks Labs in Chicago in 2014, so he is making the location of this year Selenium conference meeting. So he was heavily developed Selenium RC. The Selenium RC is remote control, I can say, and this is the IE browser extension on Selenium core. So let me explain about Selenium WebDriver. So this is a very important component, I can say. So 99 or 99% of people are using in all the companies like Selenium WebDriver because of it is a open source tool, and mainly we can use it Selenium WebDriver to automate the web applications. So the Selenium will not support the window based or desktop applications. So there are some tools to support on the window based or desktop applications. For example, like QTP or UFT, there are some tools actually. uh, it is the service is providing by the HP company. So to get that the app, the software license, so we should pay some amount like some lakhs to get it to automate the desktop and window based applications. So this is the overall explanation of WebDriver, the high level I can say. And there is another component called Selenium IDE. So Selenium IDE, like this is the first tool I can say, a component I can say. So this is mainly this is Firefox I can say like extension. So in the Firefox browser only we can go on install the plugin and add the plugin into the Firefox. So it is kind of like play and record mode, play mode actually. So you can go and record the automation, the whole steps, and it will be able to give this scripts actually in any languages like Java, Ruby, C Sharp, Python, something like that. So mainly I can say like this is it is allow us to record and play back the scripts. The next one is Selenium Grid. This is another important component Selenium. So I can say about Selenium Grid is uh, to execute our scripts in multiple missions at a time in a multiple browsers and at a time. So there will be some hub. With help of Selenium Grid, we can go and connect to the hub, and we'll be able to connect to the multiple servers and missions, and we can go and execute our automation scripts in in the same time, in the multiple in the parallel execution, I can say, multiple times in the multiple missions at a time. So yeah, next would be any questions. So if you get any questions, please feel free to ask me. So I'll be able to answer. Any questions? Super. Any doubts? Okay, I'll take it as no.
No, bro.
Yeah. And this is Selenium RC. This is remote control. I can say full form remote control is important component in the Selenium in the test suite actually. Uh, so this is basically I can say the Selenium RC is deprecated. So deprecated is like it has been removed actually due to some different issues. So the Selenium RC is not inactive now. It is inactive actually. So it is similar to the WebDriver only. I can say Selenium WebDriver is extension of Selenium RC. There's no much difference. Yeah. And Selenium Y was removed. So Selenium RC compromises an additional layer of JavaScript known as the core, which makes it slower. So the way why the Selenium was removed, Selenium RC removed. The reason was so it is expecting some additional layer of JavaScript. So that might be the reason. Like they might have removed the Selenium RC. So the execution will be slower, and it is very complicated and redundant APIs. So Selenium RC is not compatible with the HTML unit browser. So required for Atlas execution. So headless execution means without having any browser like Firefox or Chrome or something like. So there will be some headless browser I can say. So we cannot see that browser, but so whatever we written the the automation scripts in the our framework or project, so it will go and run in the headless browser mode actually. So for that we don't require any the physical browser I can say like Safari or Firefox or IE or Edge. So for that headless execution, it is not supported. It seems so. That was the reason behind it. The Selenium was removed. Actually, Selenium also was removed. Yeah. So the difference is this is the difference mostly. So Selenium everywhere can support the parallel execution. There are so many the advantages of Selenium WebDriver. So Selenium RC is like it is required some external proxy server. Okay, so this is all about Selenium. Any question about Selenium? Selenium and Selenium components and founders? Any?
No.
So mainly we'll be focusing on Selenium WebDriver components, whatever it is, implemented inside it. So we'll be trying to learn these concepts about the Selenium WebDriver, and we will not, learn about the Selenium ID and all, grid and all. So it is not required actually. So mainly we'll be focusing on Selenium WebDriver. So I'll be focusing on these concepts I can say. So introduction of automation testing, browser launching, WebDriver. So I'll go one by one. Yeah, to automate the web applications, like we need Selenium, right? So to write the programs, so there should be some programming language. So we'll be using the Java as a programming language. So we will be using core Java concepts to automate our Selenium automation. So there will be multiple languages are supported by Selenium, like Java, Ruby, C Sharp, Python, Perl. So there are multiple languages are supported by the Selenium actually. So most of the companies are using Java. Even nowadays, like Python also, it is very famous. So I'll be writing the code in the Java itself, not in other programming languages. Okay, so automation. So before we go for the individual concepts or topics in Selenium WebDriver, so I'll be explaining about automation. What is meant by automation? So automation nothing but like performing any task by using any tool or machine is called automation. So coming to the automation, so automation testing I can say. So by using any automation tool to test something on the browser and on the web, so we can say automation testing. So with help of any automation tool, if you go and test something, we can say automation testing. For example, Selenium I can say. Selenium is automation tool. It's a open source tool. So you don't need to pay anything. So you'll go and download the jars on the internet, and you can import the jars into the project. You'll be able to use them for our the actual coding purpose to automate the web applications. any application on the web. And main advantage why we are going for automation is some meaning is, so if you go with automation, so it will save the time, it will be very faster, less manual effort, and restless multitask we can do, and requires human resources. So this is the main very very important, when the people, when the companies are going with automation by using any tools. So this is the main reason behind it actually. It will save the time. So when we'll go the automation testing, when we'll go the automation testing by using Selenium or any tools, the same functionalities, you know, if you are continuously testing, okay, so for that like manual effort is very very important. So it will take so much manual efforts, manual resources I can say. To save them, to save the manual efforts, if you go with automation testing, it will reduce so much time actually. So I can say like for regression purpose. So in the real time, like for every release, if the developers, for example, like the developers are building the new features and they are deploying in, are delivering to the QA team, are testing, and that functionality should not impact or impact on the existing functionalities. How will go and verify or give the certificate that so there is no impacted functionalities because of the new feature. So to test that, to verify that, to give the certificate to the development team or to the higher management, we'll go with the regression testing. So mainly we'll be using these automation scripts for regression testing. So I'll be talking in real time scenarios. Yeah. And there are some disadvantages as well. If you go with automation for anything, like there will be some advantages and disadvantages. It will be common actually. Here we do have some disadvantages as well if you go with automation. So first would be like initial investment will be more. So to test, to go with the automation testing or automation tool, so there will be some more investment. It can be money, or it can be manual efforts I can say, hours, and it requires constant maintenance. So whenever the build is, they're deploying new thing into the environment, there will be some, the requirement is required actually. So sometimes the locators or elements get changed. That time the automation tester needs to go and update the do the maintenance on the existing script. So this is another disadvantage, sorry. It requires additional skill sets. So to go with the automation, we should have some additional skill sets like Selenium and some test ng, some different tools. We should know, we should aware to automate. So this is all about automation and automation testing. I already explained testing an application by using any automation tool is called automation. So I can see I already explained as I said. So Selenium is that one automation tool, QTP. So QTP is full form Quick Test Professional UFT Unified Functional Testing. It is a paid tool and it is not open source. This tool is supporting for Windows and desktop application. It will not support for web-based application. And APM is a mobile automation tool. So I'm just giving the example, and because I know the concepts and the things on about these tools, that's why I'm explaining. So APM is a mobile automation tool. I can say APM is a server to automate the mobile apps. So Auto IT is another tool to for to handle the some files to uploading and downloading. These kind of concept like we can go with the Auto IT. So there are multiple tools actually, like Cypress also I can give another one example, like Selenium. And so I already explained about Selenium. It's a free and open source automation tool which is used to automate any web-based applications. So these are the advantages. So it will support 14 languages and it will support multiple OS operating systems like Windows, Mac, Linux, Unix, and all. It will support most all the browsers such as Chrome, Firefox, IE, Safari, Opera Mini. So it will support multiple browsers as well. So this is the main reason like we will go with the Selenium to automate the web-based applications. So this is the high-level architecture of Selenium. So if someone asks in the interview, can you go and show the draw on the high-level architecture of Selenium? So you can go and write draw this picture actually. So client language binding. So client language binding is like whatever you're using the programming languages, I can say. So Java, C Sharp, Python, Ruby, Perl. So this all belongs to this client or language binding. And WebDriver. So Selenium WebDriver, right? So WebDriver is an API, and it is, I can say, it is an interface. So without this interface, we cannot go and automate anything on the web applications. And to automate the web applications, so we need driver executive file. So to automate, for example, let's take an example. So I want to automate something. I want to automate one application in the Chrome browser. I should have Chrome driver.exe file. Okay, if I want to automate something on the Firefox driver, I should have Gecko driver.exe file. So this is supporting file actually. So without this, you cannot. I mean, the browser will not get open. And until Selenium 3, but Selenium 4, without using these exe files as well, we can launch the browsers and we'll be able to automate whatever you want. So I'll explain, with using these files and without using these files, how we can, how we will be able to launch the browsers. I'll explain in detail, and even I'll be able to show the code and I'll execute them. I'll show how the things will be. And browsers, so Chrome, Firefox, IE. So this all browser belongs to the browser. So this is the high level architecture of Selenium. And this is okay. So Java Selenium architecture. So this is a high level architecture. Please remember. So this is a high level architecture. If they want to know high level architecture, you can just draw on this one. If they ask about the Selenium architecture in detail, so you should be able to draw this one. So the main search country is the main interface, I can say. So WebDriver is an interface. So we'll be using Selenium WebDriver. So for Selenium WebDriver, search country is the parent one. So WebDriver here is a child one, child interface. Okay, so without such context, we cannot use the WebDriver actually. So most of the people doesn't know about such context. Even they, if they go for explanation of to explain the WebDriver. So this is very very important. Interview question, I can say. Search context, what is meant by search context? You should be able to answer like search context in interface. The search is a parent interface of the WebDriver. And these are like JavaScript executor, WebDriver, and take screenshot. These all are like interfaces, and these are the child interface, I can say. And search context is the parent one. Okay, this is the most important root one. And this is a remote WebDriver. So remote WebDriver is a parent class. It's not a interface. So we are extending these this Chrome driver, bypass driver, and for these classes we are extending the remote WebDriver. Okay, so whatever is there in the remote WebDriver will be implementing them in the Chrome driver, these classes actually. So this is the in-depth detail Selenium architecture, WebDriver architecture, we could say. And search command is a parent one. So these are like interfaces, and this is the class Chrome driver, Firebase driver, Internet Explorer driver. So these are like all our classes. These four are like interfaces. You can say they mention clearly what are the interfaces, what are the classes. Okay. And from such context there are two methods. Okay, two methods. One is in find element and find elements. Very 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 important, these methods actually very very important in Selenium. So without this method you cannot do anything. To identify something on the web, on the page, so we should need these two methods to identify the locator or to identify the web elements. Okay. And if you take any application, so all the application, whatever it is, it can be a text box, it can be a checkbox, it can be hyperlink, we called as web element. It can be anything, we call as web element. If you take okay, assume like this is a zoom dot us. Okay, this is one application. If you take the zoom header or products or solutions, okay, these are the drop downs or checkboxes or buttons or hyperlinks, anything we can say web element or element. Okay, this is very very important. So I think it will be ended in 10 minutes. If the zoom is ended, please join after 1 minute because it's not licensed one. So yeah, any questions so far till now? I know this is kind of like theory, yeah, but before we go with the actual automation scripts or concept, then we should aware these concepts actually. Any questions, feel free to ask. Okay, I'll take it as no. Thanks. And such context, there are two methods, and such is interface inherited by another interface called WebDriver. So as I explained in earlier, so it is inheriting, extending the WebDriver actually. And contain there are 13 methods including find elements. And there are two interfaces such as JavaScript executor and take screenshot. So JavaScript executor is used to execute the JavaScript statements. I'll explain like JavaScript executor where exactly we will be using, and take screenshot like to take the screenshot of the web page. So very important thing is like we should take the screenshot while executing something, because of in future like if someone come and ask like if something goes wrong, so definitely they will ask the where is the evidence. So if you build this take screenshot concept, if you are able to generate the screenshots, then you're in a good position to show them. So this is evidence. Yeah, for that reason like we'll go with the take screenshot concepts. And yeah, so all these interfaces are implemented in the class called remote WebDriver. So whatever the interfaces we do have, we are all the methods, okay, interfaces, the methods will be implementing in the the remote WebDriver supermost class in Selenium, the remote WebDriver and Chrome driver and Firebase driver interface. These classes will be actually implementing the methods whatever is available in the these interfaces. And the next concept would be WebDriver methods. So very important methods actually. So WebDriver method like there will be 13 methods, and get title, get current URL, get page source, find elements, get window handle, switch to, manage, navigate to, close, and quit. So I'll explain one by one. So get method is to enter the URL. So it's very important method on Selenium to launch the to enter the application URL in the browser. So we'll be using this method. And get title, to get the page of the title we'll be using get title. I'll show how the things will work, how the things will return after using this method, but I'll explain the high level what is mean by these methods. And get page source, you'll get the page source HTML code I can say. And find elements. So find element we'll be using to identify the single element. And find elements, so if you are trying to find multiple elements, for example I can say drop downs. So drop down there will be multiple options, so you want to validate the drop down values, or so I can go with the find elements because I'm trying to find multiple elements, right? So I'll go with the find elements. So in that scenarios, I can use find elements. So by seeing the name itself, we can understand find element, single and plural. And get window handles. So very important interview question. So the window handling concept. So get window handle to get the parent window, and get window handles. We can use it to get the child windows. I'll explain in detail when I'll go with the concept. And switch to it method is to switch from one place to another place. It can be a frame, it can be a window, it can be alert. So we'll be using switch to method to switch from one place to another place. And manage like we'll be using like we are switching our to window or frame. We'll be using to maximize. We'll be using this manage method. So navigate is something like to navigate from backward or forward, and refresh, and we'll be using this method navigate. And close and quit, very important these methods for interview purpose. So close method is something like close method is to use to close the current browser or current window, and quit method is used to close all the browsers which are opened by the Selenium, the instance I can say. Very, 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 very important into the question. Please remember. And JavaScript is Twitter methods. Already shown you. Okay, so these are the tools required. So we need JDK, and we should have the Selenium jar files and Eclipse, and driver executable files like Chrome driver.exe, like Gecko driver.exe, and all. And I'll explain you how to install the Selenium, and how to install the Eclipse, and how we can go and create a Maven project or normal Java project, how we can go and write even first test case in the Eclipse or in any editor. The Eclipse is a IDE editor, I can say, where you can go and write the actual automation scripts. So we'll be having multiple editors like Eclipse and IntelliJ, Visual Basic and all. I mean, we there are some editors actually. So most of the people will be using Eclipse and IntelliJ for Java projects. And yeah, so this is all about the theory actually. One second. Yeah, I had water actually. Yeah, so the next concept would be browser launching. Okay, so I'll be showing real time like how you will go and launch the browser, and I'll take one browser and I'll try to show how to launch the browser. Okay, so this is the syntax to open the any. I mean, they are showing for Firefox. So we'll be creating the class, and it's a main method. We'll be using the system set properties where you'll actually maintain the driver executable file, and we'll be using driver installation. Please remember, we cannot create an object for a WebDriver because a WebDriver is an interface, so we cannot create an object. So we are just using the installing the variable actually WebDriver installation. So and we'll be using driver.get method from the WebDriver method. I can say, see, this is the first method we'll be using to launch after launching the browser, to enter the application URL, and we'll be closing. So this is all about the browser launching. Any questions so far? So I'll try to show the write the code, and I'll try to show how the browser launching will happen. Will be any questions so far before I go for writing the code in the actual Eclipse? Anyone? Anybody? No?
No.
Thank you. Thanks for confirming. So let me go to the Eclipse. So I'll close this all the things. Close all. Okay. So I have some existing projects actually, frameworks I can say. So I'll use them to show you. So I'll create some pages. So I just created the the package under SRC test Java folder. So to create the project, like you know, to right click on the folder SRC test Java, wherever you want to create a package, you need to right click on this, go with the new option, click on the package. See, the package has been created. So I just created the package name called Selenium second batch. So I'll be creating a new class. Right click on it and click on the new. Sorry, I think it will end the Zoom. Please try to join. So click on the class.